What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Heavyweight Nation podcast. And today we have a very special guest. We got Mo here. Mo is a two-time Division III national champ, recent Big Ten commitment to Wisconsin, making the big transfer portal comeback. And then obviously, the guy just made it on the world team. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
What's up, everyone? Massoma and Endene. I just go by Mo though. I'm pumped to be on the podcast. I've been excited to do this for a while, so let's go. I'm excited.
I mean, we got to just jump right into it. Mo, what a crazy year this has been for you. I mean, is this pretty much everything you've wanted since you were a kid? Getting on the mat has happened the last year.
Man, it's a lot of times you don't like stuff just happens real fast. You don't expect it to move such at a fast pace, but everything has turned out. Just a lot of hard work, stuff has fallen into place. If I went back a year ago, I w- I wouldn't think I'd be wrestling on a world team. So, you just keep working towards your goals, make new goals, and here I am today, world team.
Yeah, and so what has that kind of been like for you? Where did this begin? That's what a lot of the questions people had was what led you to now to being a Division I Big Ten commit and now a world team member. When did it all start for you? When did your wrestling career begin?
So I started in high school. I my family's from Cameroon, which is West Africa, and soccer, wrestling is not really a thing out there. There's wrestling, but soccer is definitely the sport that takes over out there. And my family was all soccer. I played soccer for about 5 years, and I was a goalkeeper, small, fatter kid, goalkeeper. My brothers were really good at soccer, so they knew what it took to go to college with it. And I remember it was like end of my freshman year or so. My brother was like, "Hey, soccer might not be it for you, but try out wrestling." And I had friends, a couple of friends that were in wrestling as well. So I tried it out. I was getting my butt kicked when I got in there. And even though I just really liked it. So I started my sophomore year. I really got into it. I used to always travel with I was backup JV, but I used to always travel to watch our varsity guys compete, and I just knew the sport's something that I really loved. I really liked watching it. I was passionate about it. I was invested into it, so I just continued to do it. So and it grew to where I am today. So yeah.
So were you ever a state champ in high school?
No, not a
No,
state champ in
I
high
love it.
school.
I do
I
love those stories.
qualified my junior year. I went 1 and 2, and then my sophomore year I got fifth. Oh, my senior year I got fifth place. So never a state champ, but
Love it. I love it. I love
yeah,
it. And so, getting being a state qualifier and then being a state placer your senior year, that led you to Division III powerhouse Wartburg.
yeah.
So, what was that commitment process kind of like in the recruiting process coming out of high school? What was that like for you?
So before I got to Wartburg, I had a stepping stone at Iowa Lakes. I started off at community college. Building me up. Uh, Really funny story. My best friend in Texas, he committed there, and again, I got fifth place in Texas. Texas, and then it's a good wrestling state, but it's not one of the greatest states. It's you have your good people there, but getting fifth there, you're not going to really get highly recruited. So he was going to Iowa Lakes, and he was my best friend. I followed him there, and then last minute he bailed out on me and went to NEO, which is another community college, but it's in Oklahoma, closer to home. But I was like, I already have the plan to go to Iowa Lake, and I didn't have the option to just jump ship and go to a different school. So I continued. I went to Iowa Lakes. Was the first person on campus. I was ready to get going. I was the first one there for about a week and a half, and I just was practicing, um, working out by myself, honestly. But I went there for a while, 2 years. I took seventh place my freshman year. Um, my sophomore year, I kind of understood a little bit more what it took. Um, got second place. Changed little things like diet and just the focus of wrestling. Still had a lot of different things I had to finished doing, and then I went. I Iowa Lakes had our head coach was Cody Ellis, and he went to Wartburg College, so then he knew the coaches here, and that's kind of like the pipeline right there. How we came to Wartburg. I was a little nervous to go to the best D3 school. It's not like I was a national champ or anything, but I wanted to be surrounded by the best people. So ended up going to Wartburg College, and best decision ever.
Yeah, man. I mean, you win two, back-to-back national titles at Wartburg, bring those home for them. What was that kind of like for you going from falling short your sophomore year of college at the community college level and then jumping, a level up to a Division 3 school and going in there and just raining down terror for 2 years straight? What was that like for you, man?
I think I think it really was what got me to win twice was just honestly I would say being surrounded by the people that were on this team. I always say like even the days I wanted to, maybe I don't want to work out. There's guys on our team, from my time here this past year. I'll say Joe Pins, our 33 pounder, Zane Mulder, uh, just a lot of people, that were on our team that, if I'm not working out, they're going to be posting something on their story or, I know they're working out. So they make me feel like, all right, I got to get in the room. So just people that hold you accountable. I was surrounded by great people, so these are the guys that just, push me as well, so I can never fall behind because I just have people lifting me up all the time. So I think that's what really carried me over and just learning more about nutrition, being around people that have done it before, winning national titles. So you could just follow their footsteps and know what it really does take, At Iowa Lakes, it was great, great coaches, but, you know, didn't really have that type of leadership, where I could look at somebody and be like, all right, this is what I have to do to get to this next level. So just being around, more like-minded individuals was what I think really took me over that jump.
And now you finish out your time at Wartburg, you graduated from Wartburg, and
Yeah.
you want to keep going. So you put your name in the
Yeah.
transfer portal. Was that kind of nerve-wracking for you, worrying that there would be a possibility, especially in the state of the portal now with all these big guys, moving around? Was there any fear that you weren't going to get the call from somebody?
Well, I knew I was gonna get calls from people. I just didn't know. Like, I definitely was D1. I didn't want to go to another D3 school or D2, but it definitely was D1. I was worried about the level of Division 1 schools that I would be contacted by. Like I didn't want to go to a D1 school that Wartburg could beat in a duel. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted it to be
A Big
a school
Ten,
where,
yeah.
yeah, Big Ten, or even Big 12 school where they're, on that, higher level. So I was a little bit worried at first, but the first couple of days calls started coming in. So
Good, man. So
relief was
what were those calls like with Bono and Reader? Two awesome guys who, Reader is just this. He is probably one of the most energetic people I've ever met. Is
seems like
Coach
every day.
Reader. He's crazy. So what was that like for
Yeah.
you? Was it kind of good conversations, and it just kind of led to you going like, you know what, these are good people I'm going to be surrounded by, good practice partners, and I'm just going to go in there.
Yeah, man. Those guys have a lot of energy. They're great. Seem like great people. I've the time I've spent with them so far, they've been nothing but great. And just the first initial time we talked on the phone, it just seemed like those guys had a plan. They already kind of watched my wrestling. They just seemed like they were invested in trying to get me out there. So it was really 3 days after I was in the portal, I went on a visit there. So they're the first people I ever went to visit. So I met them, hung out with them for the first day or two, and it was a great time. And spending more time with the Reader at U20, coaching me through, winning it. It was great. I know that this guy's gonna be in my corner throughout this next season, and I got someone that I can trust in and believe in. So yeah.
For sure, man. So you're now a Division 1 Big Ten wrestler. I'm sure those dreams that you had as a freshman in high school, traveling with the JV team, you've probably surpassed those at this point in your career, from where you were at back then. And then you walk into U23 Worlds and you just go. you just go on a tear again at U23 Worlds and you make a world team. What was that experience like for you, man? Because there you beat a lot of guys who probably would have shaken their head at Division 3 coaches when they were in high school. So what was that kind of
Right.
like for you coming from a background of going to community college and then going to Division 3? What was that like for you? Just putting it on some guys that probably would have never answered that call of a D3 coach.
I think uh, I see a lot of times like if I have a mat, if I have a mat and coaches, it doesn't really matter, what level I'm on. So I think and 100%, it is that way. They're like, oh, this guy's D3. But, I was seeded number 11, I'm pretty sure, going to the tournament. Um, I just know with proper training, actually applying myself every single day, going to the room, I was ready to beat anybody that was in my bracket or in the weight class. I had a great about 2 months of training. Pretty sure I started training again end of March, so I had a good amount of time to train. Transitioned into freestyle. I'm not the biggest freestyle person, but I really just tried to apply myself and learn every single day when I went to practice. So I think that was really important. I think just being able to go into the tournament, knowing you're prepared, that's the biggest thing. Knowing you're prepared to go into whatever battle you're going to go into just ultimately makes you just more solid, So I was just ready to go into that tournament, win it. Last year I fell short, so this year I just knew, I'm not going to allow those same results to happen.
For sure, man. So one of the questions that we got asked for you was what what did you do in past summers that you did different this summer to get to that extra level to win worlds
Hmm.
or what to make it on the world team?
I think it was just being on the mat more. Uh, Normally I after season's done, I just start lifting. I get start lifting full time bodybuilder. But this past summer I lifted a lot. I do like more like kettlebell stuff just right outside my house. But this summer I've just been on the mat a lot. I actually was training at Panther Train PWC because I'm still here in Iowa right now. So I was training there a lot with those guys, and those guys, got me better as well. Allowing me to use their room and facilities, which is great. And I've just been lifting. So this past summer, just like lifting more like more explosive movements and stuff like that. Training more for wrestling, not just like static movements like barbell bench and stuff like that. I've been doing more kettlebell swings and stuff like that. And then just also being on the mat more, just being in positions, like different stuff where I can react in a different way, because I've been there before in a match. So just being on the mat more is what I've changed this past summer.
Awesome, man. And then another one is who inspires you and what motivates you to keep going?
Well, I think something that motivates me to keep going is just knowing where I'm from, like, where knowing where I started. I didn't have everything when I was younger. My family's again from Cameroon. They came here when they were in their 30s. We didn't have the most wealthy upbringing or anything. So I think all the time when I think about like my future, I just want to, make it my own, make a path for myself, have a great life. And something like I say is like, when I was a child, my childhood wasn't, again the most wealthy, so I want to give my kids and my future the opportunity to have that you know rich lifestyle, I guess. So I just think about my future all the time, and my mom, I would say, is a big motivator. She's got three boys, supported us her whole life by herself, really. So I think, again, just having a better outlook of life for my kids, seeing my mom, what she went through, is something that really motivates me and inspires me for the future.
And I'm sure she is super proud of you, man. Because let me tell you, just you just keep going, just keep jumping, keep jumping, man. And it wouldn't surprise me if in the next couple of years we see you make a push for an Olympic team, man. Because it was crazy watching you at U23s. You were a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah,
So
and that's something she always says. She was like, when she got here, she had no option but to keep pushing, and sometimes that's just something I think about. If she could have done it, I gotta keep pushing too, keep making a better life for myself. She always says, when people come here to America, the goal for their kids to beat them in life, have a better outlook of life than them. So that's what I'm trying to do.
For
I
sure,
haven't beat her
man.
yet, but I'm trying.
You're
I'm
trying.
trying.
You're
I'm
trying to get
trying.
there, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing that has to be exciting for you is getting to Wisconsin, and you have a junior world champ there. You got Braxton Amos there to practice with you every day. Are you excited to get in the
Yeah,
room and roll around with him?
for sure. I mean, right now I'm pretty sure he's going through an injury, getting over that, but like just being able to train with someone again, like coming to Wartburg, being around people that have done it before, that's what really gets you to the next level. They know what it takes. So being able to roll with a guy like that's going to be huge for me. That's why I say like him, John Reeder, he's a national champ. He knows what it takes, to be on that level.
Yeah.
So having people like that around me is going to be amazing for my future. So yeah,
And you got Seth Gross. Seth Gross is also a great guy.
he
Seth
also
is
is great.
he's an
Yeah.
awesome dude. Really, really down to earth, great dude. Good family man. So that's definitely a guy that you'll be super excited to have in your
Oh yeah,
corner
for
too,
sure.
man, for sure.
Might not be
So
able to wrestle with him that much, but
no, no, probably not.
yeah,
Probably not get to roll with Seth, but just getting able to sit down with him and talk,
yeah,
you'll hear some really good stuff from him, man. Great story
for
too.
sure.
Seth Gross is a great story. He's a great life
Yeah.
story for sure. So we'll move on a little bit into some a little more fun topics, man. So a lot of people want to know what's the workouts like? Because you're probably one of the most caught up wrestlers that we've seen in a while, man. So what's that like? Are you just every day, a couple times a day, you're getting a workout in?
I mean, I just try to work out in the morning. It changes up. It's really like just get something in. I mean, it just depends on how I feel. So I either wrestle in the morning or I've been doing like workouts in the sauna. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff like that. That's real good for you. Workout. So I get a kettlebell. I go in the sauna and just do rows and random different things in there. Or I'll work out again outside my house. We had a really good new coach this year, Coach Hayes. He played baseball at our school and then came back and he was our head training coach, lifting coach. And man, he had insane workouts. And it's crazy because he didn't know he didn't wrestle. So he really applied himself to, find different ways that apply to wrestlers. And it was the best training, weight training I've ever done in my life. So that really helped me this year, being more explosive, just being stronger, and it's like the lifts weren't, just bodybuilding lifts. It's lifts that apply to wrestling, a lot of pull different things, explosion, hip movements and stuff like that. So just that's what I've been doing. Wrestling and lifting.
Wrestling and lifting, man.
Yeah.
Are you a guy that has to cut a lot of weight, or do you kind of walk around pretty close to where you need to be?
Uh it's a good weight cut. I mean, I have to lose a little bit of weight. I try to stay down. This summer I've been probably the leanest I've been in a while. I'm like 210 right now. Before U23s, I was a little bit, I don't know what happened. I was a little bit sick. So then my weight went back up a little bit. So I had to lose some weight for that. But I've been like 210 or so. In previous summers, I've been like 220 and then go down to 97. So it's, I'm planning on staying leaner and
Making the
being able
cut
to be
easier
closer
a
to
little
weight.
bit? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've just been learning more about nutrition and stuff like that. So allowing it to be easier for me in the future.
Well, speaking about nutrition, we got to ask, what's your favorite cheat meal? Your season's over, you got a couple weeks before you're going to start training in the summer. What's that one thing that you're looking forward to after wrestling season?
I don't know if I even wait for the summer, but I mean, my favorite cheat meal has got to be ice cream. I'm like lactose, but I still find a way to
Of
make it work.
course.
So I gotta like ice cream is my favorite.
What's
Cookies
the
and cream.
cookies and cream? That's the go-to.
Cookies and cream. Yeah, go to
That's the go-to, man, for sure,
my
man,
favorite.
for sure. So, coming, going from, from Iowa now going to Wisconsin, what are some just things are you looking forward to kind of learning about Madison? And it's a great city. You're looking forward to kind of hanging out around there and, visiting some spots down there.
I think it's definitely gonna be fun. I love coffee. I love coffee and stuff like that, and nice breakfast places. And coming from Esterville, Iowa, where Iowa Lakes is at, to Waverly, smaller places, and going to Madison, which is a bigger place, I can find a lot of different places where I can just, have time to myself in the mornings. I'm big into journaling and stuff like that. So that's the place I, grab my headphones, grab my journal, and just, find new places that I like. And I'm excited for that stuff, and just hanging out with the guys on the team is gonna be super cool. So yeah,
Awesome, for sure.
yeah,
And are you excited to go to your first Big Ten football game? That'll be exciting for you
that's
too.
gonna be super cool. Yeah, I hear that's a good time up there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what that's all about. And Wisconsin's actually good at football.
Lineman
So
University. Wisconsin
yeah,
is good for big linemen. That's
yeah.
that's
So
that's they're known
it's gonna
for.
be fun. I heard the streets are shut down, so it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time for sure. And it'll even be a better time for you if you bring home some world hardware. Because they might
Yeah,
even at that point bring you on the field,
a
which
little
that'll be
announcement.
really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna win a world title for sure.
Yeah.
Still
Hey,
training hard, ready, get learning more still about freestyle. I got it. That's the big thing I gotta do. Just keep on
how many
learning
years have
more
you
about
been wrestling
freestyle.
freestyle?
Well, I did it 2 summers in high school, and then my senior year, COVID canceled it all. So I've done like I think a total of a year of freestyle because I did in the summers, like three months in the summer, my sophomore year, junior year, 3 months in the summer, and then this summer is
That's
what I've done.
that is just crazy to think that you've done like a year of freestyle wrestling and you're about to
Yeah.
go compete at the world championships, man. Like,
Hey, if I just keep learning, I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep on winning. I'm gonna keep on winning the freestyle. I think it's a really good style for me, honestly, because it's a lot of neutral and I'm pretty good on my feet. So it's gonna be fun.
for
It's gonna
sure.
be fun.
So, you know, obviously this I think you're gonna have some good answers for this. If you could pick three guys, past or present, to wrestle in a match against, who would you pick?
To wrestle in a match against.
Three guys, past or present, who would you pick to wrestle a match against?
Hmm.
Doesn't matter the weight. They're
Okay.
bumping up or coming down to 97.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say these guys. I don't know if I'll beat them, but the way they wrestle is people that I really like watching. So one, I would say RBY. The way he wrestles is insane. I really like watching him
Would
wrestle.
love to see 197-pound RBY. I just wonder how quick he would be.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be crazy. But RBY, like his movement and stuff like that, one of those things that I try to replicate in the way I wrestle. I don't know if I replicate all that much, but I try to replicate it. Huh. Again, I haven't watched wrestling that long, so you're not gonna hear any old school people. Gable, that's another person. You know, it's everyone knows Gable Stevenson. I don't gotta say too much about
He's
him.
just an
He's
athlete, man. He's just an
athlete.
athlete. He's in the
Uh,
NFL now. Who would have thought?
yeah, dude, he does side quests. He does whatever. He
Aside
does a lot of side quests. I don't know. This guy was in WWE a couple weeks ago. The next week he's in.
signs a
Hey,
3-year contract with the Buffalo Bills.
he's making history. He's making history for himself. Who else? Huh? I guess I would say I'd wrestle Reader, huh? Because that's the coach now, right? I would see how good he would be. I guess I'd wrestle Reader. But I drove him at U23s and I couldn't keep up with him, so I can only imagine how it was
Him
when
at
he was in
peak
college.
timing. Oh yeah,
Big
man.
time, yeah. I
Peak
think I'm done
reader
for it.
for sure. I think he might have you. And
Yeah.
and just kind of talking about that. So what is your major in school?
I just graduated here in business administration, and I'm getting my master's in real estate now at Wisconsin.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Great,
Yeah.
great field to be in.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you're doing that, is that kind of what you plan to stick to and kind of wrestle as long as you can? And then when wrestling kind of closes its page for you, is that what you want to do? Because there's so many pipelines now between the WWE, between the UFC, and now, the NFL with, Adam Kuhn was on the Tennessee Titans, who went to Michigan and, was an Olympic representative for a long time. And now Gable Steveson, Stephen Neal, like what has that kind of been like for you to realize that obviously you're a wrestler and I'm sure you have huge dreams and aspirations to win Olympic gold medals and stuff like that. But there is a chance that one day you could get a phone call from somebody from the WWE or somebody from the UFC or somebody from the NFL. What has that kind of been like?
Well, yeah, it is crazy, with this new day and age of wrestling, like, opportunities are actually opening up. For me, I mean, if I get a call from somewhere like that, I'm gonna get paid NFL or WWE. I'm probably gonna take the opportunity. But
I could see,
and
I
this
weirdly could see you in the WWE. I don't know why. I could see it. Like I feel like you
hey,
have the physique, you have the personality to get on the mic and go for it. I could see you being in the WWE
hey,
one
if
day.
they want to give me a call, I will pick up. I'll be
Listen,
ready.
for you, the guy you would want to get in contact with would be Jacob Casper. He wrestled at Duke. He was a
Okay.
heavyweight,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He was like 97, right? Or heavyweight?
97 heavyweight.
Yeah.
He
Oh
is
yeah.
doing phenomenal in the WWE. Him and his
Yeah.
brother are doing huge things in the WWE right now. And
Yeah.
they really took it and they went with it. They were like the first people that really got
Did you
into
go
it.
into it? Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Especially like
Hey,
in
give me
our
a call.
generation. Like obviously Kurt Angle was like the
Yeah.
OG, but the Casper brothers, him and his brother both are in it. They really got the pipeline going for wrestling for sure, man.
Yeah.
Not
That's
not a
awesome
you.
though.
I heard you didn't mention the UFC. Are you not a fan of getting punched in the face for money, or
I
would you?
love watching the UFC. I love watching UFC, but I mean, when I was in high school, when I first got into wrestling, I was like, oh yeah, I'm for sure gonna start fighting. But yeah, I'm past that. I think I've
Yeah,
moved on from. I don't know. I don't know. You never know though.
you never
You
know.
never know.
Hey, wherever the
Uh,
money's going, right?
yeah, there you go.
Like
Well,
obviously,
at first, I didn't think I was gonna continue wrestling after college. I was big on, get my degree, get a job, and I'm done. But, you know, when talking to more people, I'd be crazy not to try making an Olympic run or something like that, And for sure, because I can get dual citizenship for Cameroon and, go that route or, go the United States route, whatever happens. But, giving myself that one shot, I feel like I'd maybe regret it down the line if I don't do that. So,
yeah, man. I mean,
yeah.
and what's especially seeing guys like Kyle Dake and Jordan Burroughs, and even now, David Taylor's finished up his career, but it was long, man. These guys are wrestling well into their 30s. So like, has
Yeah.
that been something where you realize like I could really make a career out of this? JB's doing well. He's pretty well off with his wife and his kids and everything like that, and he's providing a life for them by just getting on the mat and competing.
Yeah, I mean, doing something I'm real passionate about, for a good period of my life. I don't think Jordan Burroughs is ever going to have to work a regular job again. I think he's gotten that part covered for the rest of his life, and he's created many business avenues, through wrestling and stuff like that, which is, I'm not Jordan Burroughs, but that's something that I could, figure out to do for myself in the future. So I think if I go ahead and continue after this next year of college, that'll be like 3 more years, I'm pretty sure, to the next Olympics or whatever. And just, hey, I've only done it for about 8 months, freestyle. So I can only imagine how good I can really get in, 3 years of training every single day. So
I think that they would be probably writing stories about you if you go to Worlds this year and win a gold medal
yeah,
after only training freestyle for 8 months to a year. I think
yeah,
people would probably be telling stories about you the rest of your life.
no,
So
for sure, for sure.
that would be a
Hey,
legendary situation right there, man.
yeah,
That would be crazy.
hey, and
So
then
you
make
got
stories about it. Make stories about it in March,
make
winning a
stories about it
national
in March,
title.
man, for sure.
That'd be
So
crazy too.
kind of looking into your field, you're gonna go 197. That's probably where you're gonna be at
Yeah,
for Wisconsin. So
yeah.
kind of going into the field, what are some of those Big Ten guys that you're gonna see? Not at that last step in March, but you got to meet them again before that in that second step. So
Yeah.
at Big Tens, who are some guys you're looking to just not saying this in a negative way, but who are some guys you're looking to just roll around with and get a couple matches in?
I mean, definitely the guys that I've seen, have success this past season, what I'm saying? Like Iowa, you got Glazier. I don't know who else we have on our schedule. I'm pretty sure we have Iowa on our schedule. I'm pretty sure that's an every year thing. But that's a guy that just, off the top of my head. I'm excited to wrestle the best people because again, that's why I went to the Big Ten. I want to wrestle the best guys, and again, just see how good I really am, reach my max potential. You know,
For
so
sure. For
those
sure.
are some of the guys that it's a guy that I know for sure I want to wrestle around with. I don't know if AJ Ferrari's wrestling next year at Iowa, but wrestle
I,
the best people
I
and then
believe the
make
last post I saw, he's going on recruiting trips again.
side quests.
He's again another
Side
guy
quest.
that loves to go
I
on
thought he was
side
going to
quests.
Iowa. I didn't know. I didn't know what he. I don't know what's going on with
Nobody
that, but
knows what's going on, man.
yeah,
Nobody knows what's going on. I don't think he knows what's going on, to be fair with you. I think he's just
no,
he
seemed like it's
might
been a
he might show up at
hectic
Wisconsin.
process.
He might show up at Wisconsin to come say hello. Who knows? I mean,
He might. Who
he might,
knows? Who
he might,
knows?
he might, man. I don't know, but I'm telling you, I'm excited for sure to watch you get after it. In the dual meet season, I know you have what it takes because you wrestled a hard dual meet season with Wartburg. I mean, they're no the number one Division 3 team in the country. And I wish it was like back in the day where the Division 3 and Division 2 national champs would get the last two seeds at nationals, Division
Oh
One.
yeah, for sure, for sure,
I would have loved to see how that bracket played out because part of me thinks that you probably the last 2 years might have ended up on that podium somewhere.
for sure.
I
Whenever it's in March and I'm in peak shape, man, I feel as if
You're
I can
undefeated.
literally beat anybody.
Anybody,
Like,
man.
so
And
I
I
wish
feel
that
like
was the case, but I don't know.
I
We don't get invited to like Midlands or stuff like that anymore. Because I'm pretty sure that messes up like D1 guys allocations and stuff for nationals. So like this past season, I wanted to go to I don't know like just random different tournaments. I don't know for like Southern Scuffle or Midlands or like the Cliff Keen thing, but we just don't even like. I'm pretty sure we just get brushed off. Like that's not a thing that we get invited to. I don't know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
kind of sucks, but
yeah, they need to fix that. They
they
need to let you
do.
guys
They
get
do.
after it, man. Because
They do.
especially like it's not like you guys were like a pushover team. Like you guys were
No,
like there's an odd chance that you beat a couple handfuls of some lower level Division 1 schools and maybe some
for
mid
sure.
level Division 1 schools.
No, for sure, for sure. Our
Yeah,
our dual team would be yes, for sure. I mean, I would say the top four D3 schools would beat a lot of lower level D1 teams like us, Augsburg, Lacrosse. Like I know for a fact we would beat a lot of lower level D1 schools. So, and they're invited to the tournaments. So, and at the end of the day, if it's a season of wrestling, don't you want to wrestle the best people to prepare you for March? So it
mhm,
shouldn't really matter.
for
But
sure. For sure, man. I agree with you 100%. I think that they should let you guys and like you said those top 5 Division 3 teams they should let them in to Midlands and Southern Scuffle and the Cliff Keen and all that,
yeah,
just not even to do that but just to spice it up, like just
right.
to give you guys. And I feel like a lot of people always talk about, they always say that it goes Division 1, Division 3, then Division 2 because the Division 3 kids are hungry. They're most
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 they're paying to go to school,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's like those guys they're paying to continue wrestling, and which
Yeah.
just makes you guys down there at D3 so much just hungrier. You're just
Hey,
pushing
I'd
24/7.
I'd throw community college in that list too,
Yeah.
man. That's the
Yeah.
same thing. You got a lot of kids that they just are not from maybe the greatest background, and they just couldn't get into Division 1 school. Maybe their grades aren't good, they don't have enough money, whatever the case may be. But like, hey, there's a lot of good people that wrestle in community college that I would say a lot of them are better than even D3. So I would throw that in there too. Those are really good kids.
You always take the hungry dog in the fight. Always,
Yeah,
always, always,
yeah,
man. So, moving on to some fun stuff. So, you talked about soccer. That was a big thing in Cameroon with soccer. So, was there ever like you said your brothers kind of told you like soccer might not be the outlet for you. How did you kind of
yeah.
take that? Was that kind of like hurtful for you at first? And then obviously now I'm sure you don't mind that your brother said you wouldn't be good at soccer, but
No, for sure. Because I was goalkeeper, so me and my oldest brother, when I was in high school, was already graduated. He was done with soccer, but he was good when he had his time. But My middle brother was really, really good at soccer, and I used to be a goalkeeper for him, when he takes shots. So like I would help him practice basically. But just not having that, time we used to have together, I'd be training with him, I guess. But he was right. I mean, I was just doing it for fun. I didn't really take it to heart because I didn't really care that much about soccer. It was just something I did with my friends at the time, kind of. So going into wrestling, I'm definitely thankful that I switched over different sports. I'm not too mad about that right now.
Sure, man. So we always like to ask the guys this, and we've heard some crazy answers. What's the go-to post weigh-in meal? You did your weight cut, you stepped on the scale for your dual meet. What are you eating after you get off the scale? Because I've heard some crazy things.
Mine, again, I try to be. It's not gonna be as fun because I try to be good on nutrition. Um, I try my best. I have a smoothie or so. That's why I did U23s. Have a smoothie after. You just carbs, fruit, and all that stuff for your body. Um, just good, healthy stuff for your body. And then I have a banana, granola bar, peanut butter jelly sandwich. Is what I have after weigh-ins.
It's a classic.
In
That's a
community, yeah, classic meal. In community college, we used to have chicken noodle soup after our weigh-ins, and that's a lot of salts and like carbs as well in it, and just stuff to refuel you. So that's just mine. Nothing too crazy though.
I've heard some
What's the craziest thing
chicken
someone's told
parm.
you? Chicken parm
Chicken
after
parm.
weigh-ins?
Chicken parm. Yeah.
Jeez.
I forget who it was. It was a national champ, I'm pretty sure. It was a D1 national champ. So they said chicken parm.
If I ate that after, I would be bloated all day.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the craziest one was chicken parm. We hear a lot of peanut butter honey,
Mm,
just stuff like that. And then
yeah,
there's some guys that we talk to. It's usually the lighter weights, 33s and the 25s. They just don't eat at all. They're just drinking. They're focused more on getting the electrolytes in
fluids.
and fluids. But I mean, then again, those two weights are the guys that are having the hardest weight cuts.
Yeah,
A 22-year-old man should not weigh 125 pounds.
no,
No.
not at all. Not at all. That's miserable. That's sometimes I don't understand that. They're 30-year-olds that are still wrestling 57 kgs and stuff like that. I don't understand how they make that weight, but
It's hard. That's
hey,
got to be a hard lifestyle.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
living like that's got to be hard. Because
yeah,
they're probably walking around if the weight's 125 for beginning of the season, the off season they're easily walking around at 150.
yeah,
Easily.
for sure.
Easily.
150. And then getting down to weight, I mean, that's
25
probably
pound cut is
miserable.
crazy.
Like at the US Open, not US Open, the World Team Trials. I had a couple buddies that went there and they were like refing, they're officiating or like they're security or something like that to determine. But they got to watch the workouts while they were getting down to weight and they said like it looks terrible because they're wearing sauna suits and everything, just dying. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah. So it's been good for you though, like 97. No plans to go up to heavyweight. You're good at 97. You don't want to get that big.
Whenever else, so at first when I entered the portal, I was still like, deciding D1 or if I didn't find the right school, I'd come back to D3, stay here at Wartburg, And if I came back to Wartburg, I was going to go heavyweight because I was done cutting weight. But it's a different story now because in D3, like D3 is great, but there's no Gable Stevenson in D3. There's no one that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was not going to go D1 and go heavyweight. There's no way.
You didn't want
So
to. You didn't want to walk into
yeah, nah.
a fully juiced up 265-pound Kirk Levitt waiting for you at
Exactly.
nationals. Yeah,
Exactly. So I was like,
he's a big guy. He's a
big. Yeah.
large human being.
Dude, all the heavyweights, like, I mean, I would say the top eight are all massive, massive people.
Colton Schultz is a big boy. I don't know how
Yeah.
that would fare out for you to get on the
No.
getting
I get
underneath
my
him.
I
Might
get
not
my
have been.
neck ripped off. He
Yeah,
had to pinch my neck off.
yeah, man. For sure,
I'm
man.
pretty sure he cuts the heavyweight, right?
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
wrestles 130 kg, which is 295. But
Mm,
I'm sure he gets a little bigger than that during the off season.
yeah. His
Yeah,
singlet doesn't fit no more.
that's
It's crazy.
he's a big dude. But
Yeah.
he's a dangerous man in Greco, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
He's
Oh yeah.
a
Is he on the world team?
it's I
Our
believe
Olympic team?
he either him or Kuhn made it, but Adam Kuhn makes him look small. He's
Yeah,
about six
exactly.
six, 6'7", easy 310, 320. He's cutting down to 130 kgs too.
Yeah.
He's just a mountain. Watching, I don't know if you watched wrestling at this point in your career, but watching him and Kyle Snyder, they had some battles.
Oh,
Him
I
and
actually
Kyle
did watch
Snyder,
that.
yeah.
I watched
And it's
that
crazy
with
because Kyle was so small. Like Kyle looked so small, and Kyle's a
yeah,
big dude for 97 kg. He's a
yeah,
huge guy at that weight. And then you look at him
jacked.
against a guy who's wrestling heavyweight 285 because Kuhn was cutting to 285. He was probably stepping on the scale
Oh,
at 284.9. That kind of,
yeah,
getting right there and then stopping. But that's changed. We've talked a lot about, especially on here, the evolution of heavyweight. How back in the
yeah,
day, it was unlimited. There was no weight limit, and there was
yeah,
guys winning national titles that were 425, and they're wrestling guys that were 210. So obviously,
yeah.
giving up 200-300 pound weight, that's 200 pounds of difference is kind of crazy. But and
Yeah.
then
Now it's more
yeah,
athletic people.
yeah,
Heavyweights are more
you
athletic and
went from
stuff
like
now.
your
So
Brock Lesnar was like that outlier where he was like crazy athletic, cut up, and then it went towards Gwizdowski, Don Bradley, Adam Kuhn, like those
mhm.
bigger, just wider, big heavyweights, and then came Snyder, and he kind of changed the pace, and it went down to obviously Gable Steveson doing backflips at 200 probably 50 pounds, which is
Yeah,
crazy. That's the
yeah,
crazy thing. He's just an athlete, man, and I'm sure it's been awesome to watch him, do what he's doing now. And like you said, he's always on a side quest. He's always doing something.
yeah. And I know for a fact, I don't think wrestling is done for the dude. I mean, I
No.
guarantee you he's gonna come back. I mean, I think if he came back, he would be wrestling the Olympics. I think I don't know, but Mason Paris also has gotten extremely better. So
Mm-hmm.
who knows? The last
Yeah,
time they wrestled, it was a little bit close.
Michigan has become like heavyweight the last couple years.
Yeah,
Like they had Adam Kuhn, and then they had Mason come in, and even this year, like if you watch D1 Nationals this year, Lucas Davidson made world jumps. He made huge jumps with the 1 year he was there. Like he
yeah,
went from a guy who was sixth to eighth place every year, still an All American, but wasn't making that push to upsetting the highest level guys and making it to the national finals. Like,
like even at the beginning of the year, he was on Younger Airlines.
yeah,
Younger had him up in the air at
yeah,
the Vegas tournament, and he
yeah.
got whooped. And then Nationals came around and beat him in the quarters, which
Mm-hmm.
was crazy. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of guys, and that's another thing too, is seeing Younger make his move from 97 heavyweight was crazy. He looked
yeah,
great.
because
He
he's
was
full.
wrestling great. Yeah. You really saw him at his full potential this year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's been at heavyweight. He's like a full on. He
Mm-hmm.
looks like I don't know how much he weighs, but he looks 260 to me or 250. Like he looks big. So
For sure, man. So you have no intent to go up to heavyweight. You're sticking with 97 for D1. You're not trying to ride Younger Airlines.
nah, I don't want to go on a ride. No rides on those airlines. Nah,
No,
I would
man.
stay at 97. I'd say I'm people at 97 are normally taller than me, but I would say I'm like pretty well sized up against them, like when
Yeah.
it comes to
Yeah, you
strength.
didn't you didn't
So
look you didn't look undersized at nationals at Worlds. You looked like you were.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Worlds it seemed like I was like the same size.
Mhm,
But at nationals, like guys are normally a lot taller than me. D3 this year, they're a lot taller than me.
mhm,
But it's okay.
for
It's
sure.
fine. I deal with
So
it.
what are some like big differences that you could think of just off the top of your head of being from a D3 school now going to a D1 school?
Oh yeah. Something that I knew for sure that was gonna be a difference that I worked on these past 2 months, like since season was done. Hand fighting. I know for a fact, like me and my coach, CT, we just talked about what the differences would be, and D1 guys from space, like when there's a gap between them, they're always staying active, like they're always doing something, even though like it doesn't seem like they're doing something to find to their next attack. It's all part of the their game is to set up for the next attack. So just doing stuff from space, making sure I'm faking all the time was something that was big, and guys, their reaction to fakes and stuff is different from D3 to D1. But hand fighting was big. That was the biggest thing. Like just being able to stay in there with them and hand fight was the biggest thing to me. So, and being able to find my attacks, when I am tied up. At first I used to need to be wrestling from space, but now I can, find attacks, still being tied up and collar tied and not letting guys hang on your head because these D1 guys want to pull on your head and drain you of all your energy. But that's the biggest thing, just clearing ties.
For sure, man. And I'm sure you've been working on it, and you'll continue to work on it up until that
Oh, yeah.
first dual meet. So,
Sir.
are you excited to put on the red and white or Wisconsin has some good singlets? They do. They have some good
Yeah.
singlets. They have some different ones. I like the camo ones. I don't know if they still wear the camo ones, but I like the camo Wisconsin singlets.
Pretty sure they wore it. I don't know if they wore it this past season, but I saw they wore it like 2 years ago. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited,
Are you excited
and
to get all the gear? I feel like D1 guys get so much gear like all
yeah,
year long. There's just constant new stuff for you guys.
we
And
get one package in JUCO and D3, so I'm ready for a
you're
lot of gear.
ready to have the equipment manager and being like, hey, I ripped my shoes. Can I get a new pair? And here you go.
Another box right away.
Yeah.
In community college, you might have to wait 6 months. The season's done by the time you get your new pair of shoes.
Well,
Um,
you deserve it, man. You deserve all the gear and everything. You're a hard worker. So
Thank
talking
you.
about this, a lot of people wanted me to ask you, you know, Wisconsin's had a little bit of heartbreak the last couple of years. They had Austin Gomez leave. They had this past year, Hamidi decided he was going to part ways with Wisconsin. Amos gets hurt, at nationals, and then he gets hurt again in Olympic trials, where he was a lot of people's favorite to go on and win the Olympic trials for Greco. Are you hoping to bring the culture, the winning culture back and just start winning again and getting the people in Madison fired up?
Man, yeah, I am. I mean, I know a lot of different, I hear a lot of different things about, the past, I guess, of Wisconsin, but like they have all the resources, man. Like if I could have done it in community college, with one of my years, I didn't have a head coach for the first semester, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, if I can do it, there's no sauna, or ice bath, or there's none of those type of things, you don't have those, resources there. And I could all American and be a runner up. And then, you know, now I have a national champ as a coach, a world team member or world Braxton Amos,
Champ, world champ, junior world
world
champ. Yeah,
champ, exactly, world champ, um, and just great partners around me. There's no reason why, I'm not going to make,
and
a big
great
run.
great nutrition staff as well there. I
Exactly.
don't know
Yeah.
if you remember, but they really helped Trent Hilger when he was there. He was really undersized heavyweight his first couple of years, and they got him
Hmm.
big where
Jacked
he
up.
needed to be where his last
Yeah.
2 years, and that's when he placed the best he did his last 2 years. So
Yeah.
I know for a fact Wisconsin's got good nutrition staff. They'll get your shakes ready for you, they'll get your meals, everything like
Yeah.
that. And I'm sure that's going to be another thing like that, like being able to walk out of practice and there being somebody there
Grab food.
with food and
Yeah.
protein shakes and all that kind of stuff for you. I'm sure you didn't have that at the JUCO level and the D3 level.
No, not at all. So that's what I'm saying. Like if I can, I have all those different type of, resources, right to my hand. I can have all that stuff, it's gonna be way different, I'm gonna make way big jumps, so I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a real
For
great
sure,
year.
man.
You're gonna hear a lot about it.
And obviously, I mean, talking a little bit about the Division 1 level, I mean, and just speaking about the NIL opportunities that you're going to have come your way, I'm sure, I mean, I'm sure you've had some people probably reach out after qualifying for the world team. I'm sure some people were talking to you there. So is that kind of something you're looking forward to as well? I mean, you're working hard. You kind of deserve to make a little bit of money on the side if you can, doing some NIL stuff.
Hey, yeah, with this new day and age, with the NIL and stuff, hey, I'm open to all opportunities, all NIL opportunities. I don't really have anything like big right now. Some people contact me, yeah, after U23s, but like I haven't really confirmed anything. But Hey, hit me up. Y'all
For
can hit
sure.
me up.
Listen, I know you're wearing this T-shirt right now. Those people on the sleeve of your T-shirt, they take care of their athletes very well
Yeah.
over at that we're not affiliated with them, so we're not gonna say their name. But over at that company, I have some friends who I wrestled with at college with, who they're well taken care of by them, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So if they reach out, I would
Hey,
definitely say hello to them for sure, man.
I'll for sure I'll for sure hit them back up if they reach out to me.
For sure, man. So we'll ask you some fun stuff, man, and get to kind of know you. What is gonna be your walkout song? What have you thought about that yet? Of you're walking out for your first duel at Wisconsin. The music is gonna play and you're gonna walk out. What's that gonna be?
I don't know a song right now off the top of my head, but there's an artist called Big X the Plug. Have you heard of him before?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well he's a rapper from Texas, but it'll probably be one of his songs. I've been listening to him a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Will that stick this? Would that be the same way if you're in the national finals in the big arena? Lights go off. One light is shining on you, running out to the middle of the mat. Would you trust that music for him to be that song you walk out
Nah,
to?
I couldn't play that then. It's a little bit I'd probably play something more
A little
a
more
little bit
family
more
friendly.
family friendly. Yeah, that Big X is a little bit of a I don't know. His music isn't the greatest
We might have to
lyrically,
we
but
might have to find a clean version for you to play at.
yeah, exactly. Or some Kanye West, his old school stuff was something I'd play. I could play All the Lights. That's a good song I like. I don't know if
That's
you know that
I
one
feel like
yet.
that's an NCAA classic. I feel like some guys have definitely
Exactly.
some hammers have probably walked out to that song for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So we
So
got
that's
your
probably what I would
walkout
play.
song. What are your top three favorite foods? What are some foods that, man, you're missing during the season? Obviously ice cream we talked
See,
about.
ice cream we talked about. Big into pizza. I like pizza, but I don't get to eat it too much because I'm lactose again, so it doesn't make me feel the greatest. But pizza's for sure something I could go off on. Wings. I love wings. Um, and just home traditional food is something else that I really like, but I don't get to eat it that much during season because it's not good for you. And also, like, I just don't go home too often this season. So
And of
I
course your
love
mom makes it the best, I'm sure.
the best, the best. She makes it the best.
Of course. So
Yeah.
what are some things you're gonna miss about Iowa, man? You've pretty much spent your whole wrestling career in Iowa. So what's that kind of been like for you, saying goodbye to Iowa and going to Wisconsin?
Well, hopefully Wisconsin has this, but I mean, in Iowa with the time and like the school communities I've been in, it has just like great people. Like I would say it's just like a very welcoming people. A lot of the time, like the people that are surrounded or like involved in the school are just like a very welcoming people, like great community, like just people that will be like, hey, if you can't make it home for Christmas break or Thanksgiving break, you're more than welcome to stay at our place. So that's just like that just speaks volumes on the type of people they are. So hopefully a good community is something that is in Wisconsin and Madison, but that's something that I know I'll miss from the two different places I've spent time in Iowa.
Mhm. Now, I feel like there's definitely will be some if you guys end up in Iowa City or anywhere in Iowa and that fact wrestling the dual meet. I'm sure there'll be a large Iowa crowd out there to watch you compete. I'm sure the guys at Wartburg won't miss that opportunity to see you.
No, no. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And yeah, my teammates, man, that's another thing that, I know we'll still keep in touch. They definitely have plans to come watch me down in Madison,
For
and
sure.
I'm definitely gonna come back here in Waverly and watch
For
them
sure,
compete.
man. And I feel like that's the
Yeah.
thing, like a lot of people are saying, like, especially with the transfer portal and not just about you. I feel like a lot of people feel like it's almost like teammates take it as a negative way. But I feel like in your case, man, they're probably so proud of you and just happy that you're making that jump, man, and getting to, a level where you should be competing at this point in your career.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what all of them have really said. Of course, they're like, dude, we want you to come back, like winning a national team title is going to be a little bit harder without you, but they also, always reiterate, like, dude, you don't need to be D3 anymore. Like, it's time to it's time to make the jump. One of my best friends was just telling me like he was like, yeah, he would have to beat me up if I stayed, D3.
For
But
sure, man.
their D23s, they were competing, and um they all stayed every single match. I wrestled, I look over my corner, they're behind reader, they all packed in, so I had Wisconsin teammates in the corner and then my Wartburg teammates as well. So it's just amazing having that, support.
One big wrestling family for you, man, which is great. It's good. It's good for
Exactly.
sure, man. So last question for you, and we'll do, you know what? We'll shine some more light on the Wartburg guys. You could take three of your Wartburg teammates with you into the zombie apocalypse. Who would they be and why?
Okay. One, Seth Butler. He's from Oregon. He knows everything about he just knows everything. He knows like how to survive. This guy is a wilderness guy. Another person that knows how to do that, from Washington, Dalton Gilks on my teammate as well. He just knows how to survive as well. Like these guys go camping all the time. I don't know, they know how to do everything. I don't know. They really know how to do everything. Who else would I pick? Uh hmm. I gotta have some comedy going on as well. I gotta make life funny in the apocalypse. Probably my other really good friend, Juan Diaz. I bring him along, he couldn't survive by himself, so I gotta bring him with me as well to hang out with us. So yeah, those are the three people I take with me.
All right. And then the final little tail end of that question, how long do you think you guys would survive? Are you beating it out? You're living it to the end? Are you making it to the end, or you guys might fall short a little bit?
I think we're gonna fall short. That's a
Think
bad group of a bad group of people that I just combined. Now we'll fall short.
you
We'll
fall
probably
short
fall
for
short.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, Mo, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to sit down and talk to you and share, who you are and your story and everything like that, man. And we're happy to have you. And we're looking forward to adding you to our list of national champs, man. We've got at this point, after doing this for almost 4 years, we got a long list of guys that have come on and talked to us and then won a national title. Not saying it has anything to do with it, but it might. So we're hoping we get to put your name on that list as well, man. Last year we had the most. We had 6 Heavyweight Nation podcast guests win Division One national titles last year. So I think it'll be super cool, hopefully, to keep adding on and keep getting more champs, in the
Hey,
future.
get ready to add me on, man. I'm
For
telling you.
sure,
Get
man.
ready to add me on. Thank you for having me,
Of
man.
course, it's been
I
another episode of the
appreciate
Heavyweight
it.
Nation podcast. We'll see you guys later.